she wants to treat her patients like their family, and I think that really goes a long way, just with her core values and stuff too. Like, that's huge, and hence why she did get nominated for this award.
So I had this pretty sick lady who came up to the ICU, and she had been in the hospital. This was her third admission within the past month. And I point blank looked at her and I said, if you need to be intubated, would you consent to it? And she goes, I really don't want to. And she goes, if it comes to it, I trust you. I trust your decision. And I said, well, we're not there yet. And I said, but I do need to know what your thoughts are on it in case emergently it comes to that and we have to make that decision on very quickly. So I just began giving her really good care. And what's cool about her is that I ended up taking care of her almost 4 shifts in a row. And so I ended up discharging her from the ICU, which is very rare to admit somebody, but then also discharge them home from the ICU. When she left, when I was giving her her discharge paperwork, she's like, can I ask what your last name is? And she wasn't like a creepy patient at all. And I was like, you know what, I feel comfortable just being like, hey, this is my last name. And in case she wanted to just write to the hospital and say, hey, she was a great nurse, whatever. Didn't really think anything of it. And then Neal had contacted me probably about a month later.
I received an email, had very limited information, so I kind of just tried to pop her on the phone and get a little bit more information of what was going on,
He said, hey, the hospital reached out to me and said that they want to put you on a billboard. And I responded back with, what? And he goes, what is right?
We both kind of just had the same interaction of what? We were both so excited.
He's like, do you consent to this? To get the ball rolling? And I was like, I mean, I guess so, but why? And he was basically the foundation has recognized you for great patient care. And he's like, I don't really know the specifics at this point, but it's a big deal. And keep up the great work. So I didn't really hear anything of it for 4 days and had no idea what was going to come from this. I was at work maybe 3 or 4 days later, and the director came up to me and she goes, hey, on Monday, just do your hair. Okay, you gonna tell me anything else? And she goes, no, just, that's all. And I'm like, okay. So I show up to work, and of course I'm in the middle of taking a blood pressure that is on the lower end. And so I'm kind of mid-panic when the director comes and gets me out of my room, and she's like, hey, come up to the front. And so I'm like, 1 second, let me just make sure that my blood pressure of 80/40 is not correct before I leave this woman. And it ended up being a spoof. So there's this system-wide page that goes over all of the ICU phones, and it says all staff to the front. So I go up to the front, and there's probably 30 of us nurses up there. There's a gentleman who I didn't know, and a couple higher ups from the hospital, and all the nurse managers and the ICU director. And they're like, today's a big day. This gentleman was from the husband and wife law group in Phoenix. He was like, we're presenting an award today to one of your nurses. And he goes, it's special because this is to one of your travel nurses. And he goes, the last time that we were here in this ICU to give this award, it was also for another travel nurse. And he goes, but this ICU is always providing excellent care. And he was like, you guys are amazing people. But he goes, specifically, it's for Katelynn. One of the patients that she took care of about a month ago donated to the hospital in Katelynn's name as a foundation award. And us as the husband and wife law team, we decided to match that donation. Whatever this patient donated in my name to the hospital was donated to the ICU that I'm working in. And to give you an idea, the director told me the last time that they had a foundation award like this, they bought a new ECMO circuit. So it can be a pretty substantial gift. I'm not sure the dollar amount. So the husband and wife law team presented me with this award. And then they said, from X days, a week long or 2 weeks long, however long it is, we're going to put you up on a billboard in Phoenix. We have 15 scattered throughout the valley, and it'll just say honoring our great healthcare workers, and Katelynn is one of them. So the husband and wife law team, did this nice little show for everybody and brought us all in pastries that morning. And it was just really nice to have that recognition.
I think well deserved. Everything that Katelynn talked about, that just exemplifies her character. Katelynn receiving this nomination, it really spikes to kind of what we believe in Atlas. It's like, these are the travelers we're looking for to give back to these patients, to give back and, make these patients feel good, because what better way than to say, hey, what agency do you work for? I work for Atlas. So I think that's just huge too. That goes a long way. She is just, very humble. She's willing to, always put the patient first before herself. And these are really, like I said, the nurses that we're looking for in Atlas.